Okay, as I was saying, the original meaning of diagnostics and of, patterns and behavior that are like called out or that we can notice, it's not just data anymore. It's not just, oh, I can, sometimes I put in more effort than I should, or sometimes I try and take on the responsibility of others, and, I don't have great boundaries because I think I can be loved or I can be accepted if I do that, if I work harder, because as I am right now, I'm not. That's the that's a form of entitlement apparently. And like I understand that it's not really a healthy mindset, and we should all be sort of okay, and we should somehow be intrinsically motivated and intrinsically worthy, but it's just not biologically feasible. Like, you can't just, as a species, it's not like the cavemen, the versions of us, the hunter gatherers, could just, you know, not try to prove themselves. And if they thought they were just good enough, they would just probably sit around and just sort of expect, oh, I'm good enough, so things should happen for me. Or, it's, I hate how this mature frame for like thinking is basically just hoping and like reframing things as just like absurdity. Like, the mythicist of this, like, you just, you make your own meaning. Like, I understand we make our own meaning, but it's just so much of our meaning is just tied up in the psychological, like, fog. Like, okay, say you want to be, you know, financially, like, rich. Maybe not crazy rich, but, like, you just want to have enough to, like, not have to do bullshit. You could, like, go live your life normally. If you have a medical illness or like your kids or something, you can take care of everybody in your family. Something like that, where you just kind of remove all this stress. Like, that's what you want. And then it's like, oh, you're supposed to, the non entitled frame is to like work diligently for like years and years and years, hoping it works out, and like, somehow making the process like enjoyable, or taking some like meaning out of the process. Because if you look at the like externals and you try and like make it about something outside yourself, or you expect something, then you're entitled, and when the world doesn't line up how you thought, you're gonna burn out, or you're just like not gonna be able to see and not gonna be able to sustain it. It's just like, it's just tough to wrap my head around that. It's tough to wrap my head around doing things for the sake of like hoping. Like, I know nothing in life is guaranteed, really, but I mean, a lot of times I just don't. I'm not willing to sacrifice some things for other things. Like, I'm, I thought I wanted to sort of, like, I wanted to get more out of things in my life and like more opportunities and such. But, if you don't get like rejected 100 times a day, and like you don't just go on these sprees of like uh dealing with no, and like dealing with people and just getting upset, if you don't do that, you like don't really have a shot. But then it's also like, honestly, I don't want to get my ego bruised getting said no to every day all the time. And maybe it's like about this, I don't know, is it because like you need to be like sure enough in yourself to not take it at heart at all, or just like be able to roll past rejection. Like you can think of rejection as data, but it's still like, humiliating. If you like ask somebody out and they say no, or if you just call like a bunch of people and you feel like you're just bothering people and you're not doing anything. It's just like, you know, that's the process. It's like, oh, and even then you don't get something like relatively fast. You have to do that like multiple magnitude times more. And it's just like, you're supposed to hope. You're like, okay, I hope this happens, but, if it doesn't, yeah, that's okay. It's like, oh, I make my own meaning, so it's fine. It's like, this is my chosen suffering. Like, I guess it sort of teaches you, like, where you really care, because I don't want to just, like, crunch numbers or just do something over and over again and then not be able to reflect it all. Like, if I dial numbers all day or I just sort paperwork or something, there's no growth. There's no really anything. It's just a matter of how many times you draw out of the hat. Same with sort of even asking somebody out. It's like you can, if you just go up and like ask, in theory, like if you just go up and ask like 100 people that like randomly, that strangers or something that you find attractive, to like for their number, to like go on a date, like obviously or most likely somebody's gonna say yes out of that pile. So it's like, why don't we all just do that, really? And it's like, it's like, in the grand scheme of things, obviously it's just not a big deal to get rejected 100 times. But then for like where you are, I guess where I am, not with asking people out, but with the other one, I guess I'm just not really, like, I don't want it enough, I guess, in a way. Like, I don't, like, I get, I just don't like dealing with the people, and I don't like dealing with this hope, like hoping all the time. I'd rather, solve a problem where it's just clear. Like, you just do things, you solve it, and it just mathematically works. There's no variance or just some random noise that can easily be rationed away. It's just like, and I realize, like, I think there's just difference. That's just a difference in me as a person, because there are people who can, like, who want to have jobs and like very routine, like very similar routines of like their entire life. They just want it to be like straightforward. They want stability. They don't want like anything crazy. They don't even really need it to be like worthwhile, which is like fine. But it's like, for them, they can right away like rejection as like, oh, it just didn't work out, or hey, like, next time. You can easily some people can just easily rationalize. They can just like take action without thinking, rationalize, and then move on. But it's like, there's just other people who sort of think before they act, and then, it's so much harder to act. But then when you act, you think before, then you think after, and it's just like you never really feel good about it. And then it's like, oh, now you do that 100 more times, and even if you do, it's probably not going to actually do anything. So it's like, oh, yeah, I'm sorry that I'm entitled, and, I know I'm going to die, and I know where our life is finite, and in the grand scheme of things, getting rejected is nothing. But honestly, I feel like it's just not even me. It's like my body. It's like the human biology makes things larger than life. Like, literally, we're just inside of these bodies that just like magnify fear and, these tribal instincts that we had when we were in caves. And it's like, why is something like this really taking it out of me so much when I'm going to die, and when I've dealt with worse, and when it's like I can do, I've proven to myself I can do it. Like what? Like why? Why is this so? Like why is this so unpleasant? Like I don't know. And it's like you shouldn't chase pleasure, or you shouldn't chase like being comfortable for your life. But it's like there's some things that I'll be uncomfortable for, and I think the payoff is good. Like I think like making projects, writing, things like that. Even if no one sees, and it's like it's annoying to write, and it's annoying to think of things, it's annoying to revise, and it's annoying to fix things. If I see it run and I see it work myself, and I'm happy with the product, I don't really need anything else. And that, I feel like that's sort of the purest form. Like that is an entitlement, because I'm kind of just like doing it myself, and I'm choosing my struggle. But something like high volume, like high number, like you have to ask a lot of people for X, Y, Z, and you're dealing with people. It's like it's always inherently for a reason. It's like always a means to an end, and I just don't like that. That I just don't like doing it. I don't like I don't like thinking about, like, worrying about other people. Like I worry about if I'm like inconveniencing them, and then I worry about like how to ask them, and then when they say no, I worry about like why would they say no, and then when they say yes or something, and it's like they don't really follow up, or I get ghosted. It's like it's just then I think about why, and I think about you know all this stuff, and it's like obviously the thinking is sort of the issue, and if you just don't think as much, you're fine. But it's just like sometimes you just learn to think through everything. You learn that you're just missing something, and it's just like it's hard to sort of come to terms with the fact that you can't think your way through everything, even though it might have worked like in other areas of your life and most of your life. Stuff is just out of your hands. There's just truly things that are out of your hands. You can only control like your actions, because you can't even control your thoughts, really. You can control like your thoughts somewhat, but then it's like you do your actions and you have these volatile emotions. It's just very like complicated, and I feel like the more I just am like living, it's like the more it just feels more and more complicated and murky. And it's okay, like I guess it's fine if I don't know it all, but I don't know, it just sometimes feels irresponsible to not try. Like it feels like if I'm just ignorant all the time. I don't know. Thank you.